Hello everyone and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls 3 PvP and another weapon showcase. Today we're using the Crescent Axe, which has a overhead chop followed by horizontal slash for its R1s, horizontal slashes for its R2s, and a running overhead chop for its running R1. Same goes for the two-handed R1s. They are an overhead chop followed by a horizontal slash. Its R2s are a double spin, and its skill is Warcry. And when it's fully charged, it allows you to chase down your opponent and close the distance extremely quickly. So getting started with the basics of this weapon, you acquire it when you give the Paladin's Ashes to the Shrine Handmaiden, and she will be able to sell it after that fact. The ashes can be found next to the Cathedral of the Deep Bonfire, but before you actually get into the cathedral itself. So that's a general area. You guys can look around and find it on your own, I'm sure. Now, with this weapon, it does require 14 strength and 12 dexterity in order to wield. When fully upgraded, it has a physical base damage of 238, and it has a D scaling in strength and a C scaling in dexterity. So this weapon, it's interesting. The Crescent Axe has always been an interesting weapon. It's gone through a lot of different iterations. In Dark Souls 1, it scaled heavily off of faith. In Dark Souls 2, it was scaling off of your strength and slightly scaling off of your intelligence. This time around, it is in fact a quality weapon and has no secondary damage type. So they've gone through a lot with this one. It started off as an axe class weapon, then was put to I think it was a Great Hammer class weapon in Dark Souls 2 for whatever reason. Or was it a Great Axe? I remember it didn't make much sense for the moveset still. And this time it's a halberd class weapon, which in a way does make sense. It is essentially a pole axe, so I am okay with this. Now, with this weapon, you have a few really good pros to it, and one of them is the fact that it actually does have a halberd moveset. It's actually a really good moveset that's fantastic for chasing people down. It makes sense for the reach that this weapon has to have a moveset similarly to, to that. So that's a good thing. Additionally, it does have a few other benefits, being that its skill, Warcry, actually changes the moveset significantly. It removes your double spin, which people come to expect from a weapon that has this kind of moveset, and it gives you the ability to sort of just charge at your opponents and hit them. It's a multi-hit attack. It sort of stuns them when you first bump into them, so you can actually do some really good work with it. It's honestly a very good attack, very good thing you can do to mix things up. Other than that, pros of the weapon, its damage output isn't terrible. You can get some decent combos with it due to the moveset, and you can hit people from a decent distance away due to the length of it as well. So it overall works extremely well. It's an enjoyable weapon, and it's relatively easy to use. I like the fact that when one-handed, its R2s are alternating slashes similar to the Partisan. They're a little bit slower than the Partisan slashes, if I'm not mistaken. However, the fact that it does even have that option, it's extremely useful. So you can get some nice combos with those, get them with an R1 into R2, and then maybe throw in a jumping attack or something along those lines. You never know. Another decent pro of this weapon is that its hyper armor is actually surprisingly good, which is, of course, a very, very good thing. You're able to poise through a lot of hits and just reasonably, go for trades. It's a big pro to the weapon, and it allows it to be extremely reliable. That said, one of my favorite things to do with the weapon is when putting on the skill, when using Warcry and putting on that buff. The second R2, a lot of people don't really expect it to actually chase you down. It's something that it's just not commonly done, it's not commonly seen, so it's usually a surprise for most people. That said, it doesn't always catch them, but when it does, it's nice. Now, as far as the cons of this weapon are concerned, I would definitely say that even though it does have a great moveset, the range is a little bit lacking for that moveset. I feel like if it had maybe a halberd moveset when one-handed and a standard axe moveset when two-handed, that would allow for a bit more utility with the moveset. You'd be able to do a little bit more from it, or with it, rather. So, it could be better. It's still a good weapon, but I feel like at times it's a little bit lacking in the terms of its reach, and its ability to combo is good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it could be a little more interesting if it were slightly different when two-handed. It's not a bad thing, it's just my 2 cents on the matter. That said, other cons of the weapon, you know, when someone's dodging around sideways, they can easily get around your first R1. It's pretty simple to do just by strafing to the side if they've got decent timing. That said, if you followed up, that might work well, and because of hyper armor, you might end up getting them. That said, it is a little bit short, like I mentioned earlier. This fight actually just proved that, how I was just barely out of reach with the double spin. I mean, it looked like it was there, but it was just not there. So, it happens on occasion. It is what it is. So, other than that, though, there really aren't too many other cons of the weapon. I mean, its damage output, it's not the greatest, but with the range that it has, with the fact that it's so good for chasing people down, you can do some good work with it. Its damage on criticals isn't terrible. And its rolling, or rather not rolling R2s, but its one-handed R2s do seem to have a little bit extra reach. They do seem to be a little bit longer than it appears that they would be. So that's a good thing. Lets you get some nice hits in that weren't necessarily looking like they'd actually be in range. So, overall, I enjoyed this weapon a lot. It's a great weapon. I had a great time using it. If you've never played around with it, give it a shot. Maybe you'll end up liking it. Either way, though, guys, there is one fight left, and it's starting right about now, so I hope you all enjoyed the video, found it helpful in one way or another. Please like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff, and I will see you guys next time.